Okay, so this is 3 minutes of after 6 o'clock, and I think it's right time to start now. At the onset, let me thank FMJPI Group for inviting me for this webinar. I think this group is active for about 5 years now, wherein Nilesh Barot had taken this initiative towards, I would say, the society as well as the facilities fraternity group, wherein I do see a lot of posts coming out from this group, and it's also trying to help out the ground staff in a big way. And to the extent, I think it's a very holistic approach as of now what the group is taking up, and such kind of webinars is really appreciable, wherein we are trying to introduce some new technologies knowledge, as well as some new practices that can actually help the fellow colleagues in understanding where the FM trends are going nowadays. Great going, Nilesh. I must appreciate you for this. To introduce about myself, Dinesh Malokar. I head the engineering services as well as command center for JLL Property and Asset Management India, based out of Mumbai as of now. And today's topic, what we're going to discuss is application of technology in facilities management. We are going to cover many aspects here, not a specific thing that I'm going to talk about, and I'm sure at the end of the session we are going to have a lot of takeaways out of this session, and this will definitely help you, having a second thought in mind whenever you face an issue in your facility, that is there are technology available that can really help me out in resolving those issues, is what we're going to talk about. And today's agenda for the entire discussion session is going to be what are the current challenges in the facility management, what are the client expectations from us as a FM professionals, what are the features of technologies, and basically how does the technology function, what are the major features, how those protocols are used in technology, what is the digitized facility management, what are the variety of IoT based solutions those are available, covering a wide range of assets as well as property premises. There is a good concept called as smart washroom solutions, which is altogether a new experience for our customers, in soft services, is what we are going to cover as one of the topic. Then we are going to talk about the command center approach in technology solutions. So we'll talk a little bit about it, what the command center approach is all about and what it entails for all of us. And at the end, we will have a bit of talk on what are the future trends in facilities management and what should be our approach accordingly. And at the last, you probably have certain questions. You can type it into the chat box. I would be happy to answer those questions. To start with, we are going with the first agenda of what are the current challenges in facilities management. I'm sure whatever I'm going to talk, you would definitely be, experiencing this in your day-to-day life when we manage your facilities as well as properties. The first point is repetitive work as well as the work which is manual and time-consuming for all of us. To give you an example, taking certain readings repetitively after 1 hour of time, 2 hour of time, and deploying a person full-fledged because he as such takes a little bit of time in noting down those readings. It's a kind of repetitive and a manual work. High cost of operations, especially when we have faced this COVID situation. There's a operations optimization is what all the clients are looking at, and not only previously, even today, there are always the scope of optimizations, and we can definitely optimize those costs. Local monitoring and control, for most of the monitoring things we need to actually visit to the place of the work and see how things are physically working out. That is another challenge. For everything, you need to go locally. More incidents and breakdowns, we come across a lot of incidents and breakdowns in our facilities, day-to-day operations, which definitely bring about a bad name to the way we operate. We definitely look at near misses than breakdowns and incidents, one of the important thing. Another part is reduced service level, because our end customers, those are basically our clients are our end customers who are facing certain certain issues into a service level, because there is a lot of dependencies on human, and that factor makes a difference whenever we talk about human errors and every aspect of human which is associated with our day-to-day operations. Remote monitoring has become a big challenge for us. We are not able to see how things are happening on a day-to-day basis, because we are sitting at a cabin, sometimes on field, sometimes in meetings, and we actually do not know how things are actually working out on the ground. Then busy schedule to do any kind of micromanagement. The management team is definitely busy on a lot of coordination and communication, and they do not have time for micromanaging every small thing that is happening at the facility. And this is where they are facing a major challenges in facilities management. Incorrect reporting and submission of data. We do see that data which we receive at times is incorrect. It is not on a timely basis. It is delayed in giving, and that do not meet the purpose of having this data in place. Lot of energy wastage as well as over usage of resources that we have on facilities. Reduced equipment efficiencies, or equipments are becoming inefficient because those are not properly utilized. And most importantly, as of today's, which is a matter of concern for all our clients, is higher energy bills and water consumption. So we need to take care of the water consumption, considering the society, because resources do belong to the societies, irrespective whether we buy it and whatever cost we are buying that. So we need to take care of that as well. So these are some of the major challenges that we face in FM industries, and what the clients are looking out from us. Now we go to the next topic of what are the client expectations from we as facilities manager. The first and important part what the clients are looking out from us is the cost optimization. They want us to be most reasonable and most optimized whenever it comes to the cost. I would not say that the clients do not want to spend money, but whatever value they are spending for any specific task, they definitely look at what value they get out of the value they spend. I hope we understand this. Next, into the reduction into the wastage, they are definitely looking at what kind of wastages are happening. When I say waste, please do not pursue this as a typically the waste management part. I am talking about all kind of wastages, be it resources, be it energy, be it water, be it any kind of waste that happens into any of the processes, be it the time as well. Okay, so any kind of wastages that they need to be reduced is what our clients are looking at. Manpower optimization, we want to operate at a minimum possible manpower that can sustain the facility, is one of the requirement from most of our clients. Even if when we recommend a technology to them, the clients definitely are looking at technologies which are actually reliable technologies, and they can rely on it from a long-term perspective. Accuracy of data as well as timeliness of data, these are the two things which are very important, because basis these data there are certain analysis to be done, there are certain decisions to be taken, which is very important for our clients. We do not want to rely more on to the human efforts is another statements that the clients are making as of today, and also avoiding various kind of duplications that we come across in various situations. Clients are looking at FM to make a wide coverage of all the aspects of facilities management and not limited to specific services. That is one of the important expectations from the clients that we see on a day-to-day basis. And anytime anything goes wrong, our clients are looking for a real-time alerts and reporting. They want to have the note of that on a very immediate basis without further delays. Timely detection of the faults and diagnostics of those faults is another thing that the clients are expecting in a big way. And last but not the least, they would want to manage, monitor and control everything sitting in their office to ensure that while they are managing other important aspect, these things can be done, for which they really do not have to enter to the facilities and different utility rooms. Well, going back to how the technology functions, what are the features of technologies, and what I'm going to talk about, a brief idea. One is remote monitoring to various kind of wireless sensors that we can do. So all those parameters which are not monitored through the BMS system, those could be brought online using different kind of sensors, and these all are IoT based sensors which will help us collecting those details data, monitoring, giving kind of analysis, alerts, alarms, and ensuring that we do manage those facilities in a more professional manner. For those utilities equipment which are already brought under the BMS umbrella, there could be further analytics done, picking up the data and adding more intelligence to the BMS system. That is another step. So we are not now limiting to BMS system or only the features. Yes, there is two steps ahead of it, adding more intelligence to the BMS system. Next point is the security. We want to have a complete security system which is technology based, no intervention of manual, no dependencies on the security guys, but the technology should take care of everything that the security people were doing till now. Next is digitization. Gone are those days when people wanted to make readings on papers. Now everybody wants to go paperless. They are looking at all logbooks, all checklists and everything to go paperless, and we do not really make any manual entries, and clients can actually observe everything in a dashboard on their PCs rather than going through the logbooks for everything that they have to do. Third is sustainability. Now sustainability, we talk about energy sustainability, water sustainability, waste sustainability. Basically when we operate in a building, we are looking at the self-sustaining building wherein it utilizes minimum resources from the society. That also technology helps us. Now how does it work? So there are three different ways of taking this technology online. One is the site gateways. We can pick up the data with the help of gateways from the site using the cellular network or the VPN, that is virtual private networks. Those can be used for picking up the data. Another is picking the data through CSV file, that is comma separated value files. Those are kind of Excel sheet, but not typically the Excel sheets, but the numbers are separated with the help of commas. Third part is the sensor network. Now these are three different ways of picking up the data from the sites and the building, which goes eventually to the clouds, and in cloud this data is further analyzed, processed, and then the results are given in the form of user access. It is given in the form of various kind of alert, alarms, dashboard, and also generation of automatic work orders which will help in resolving those issues, and those work orders are further escalated. So all those discussions we are doing, we're typically talking from a facilities management point of view. And for doing this kind of IoT based solution, we need certain kind of protocols which we can use, like a BACnet protocol or a machine to machine API or VACnet, or any kind of open protocol wherein the system allows to pick up the data and further do the analysis on that data. Now talking about the digitization or going paperless, so just talking about certain processes which we can make digital. If we talk about the security system, we can go paperless in work permits, we can go paperless in key management, visitor management, gate passes, the round sheets. So everything can go paperless in the security system. When we talk about the management reporting, the daily reporting which our people used to do earlier on an Excel sheet or a Word document, that is getting finished now. To a large extent, people are using the daily reports automatically generated from the equipment with specific inputs given. Then the monthly reports which we used to prepare on our presentations earlier, now those monthly reports are generated from the system itself. So those human efforts which are used for picking up those data, putting it into the presentation format, and there were chances of errors, that is all gone now. So monthly reports have also become the technology based solution. Next point is the incident reporting. So all kind of incidents can be reported, escalated on the app. The same app is connected now to the web, wherein the detailed incident reporting as well as the root cause analysis can be done, and further detailed documentation can be submitted. So all those things are happening on a full-fledged basis when it comes to the technology. Customer interface, so today there are no manual complaints, the complaints are used through our technology platforms. The client feedbacks are used using the technology platform. All the events, the e-polling, everything has gone through a technology platform. When we talk about the employees, their documentation, the attendance, the training part, the compliance part, everything is available online now. When it goes to the procurement piece, the vendor review, contract management, AMCs, when it comes to the maintenance, the plant preventive maintenance, all kind of logbooks, checklists, everything is digital. The mobile will only help you to note down those reading, to add up certain parameters, to tick in the box when something is right or wrong, and all those things can be seen at any point in time in future in the form of a dashboard, or in the form of certain analytics that will be available for all of us. It's not limited only to making the notes of this reading. The system will also generate certain alerts when some parameters are going away from their limiting values. If there are deviations into the parameters, these parameters and these deviations will be reported on a real-time basis through the digital technology. So, earlier these logbooks used to operate on a QR code basis, and there were problems wherein some of the smart employees, I would say, they used to click the pictures of these QR codes and fill up these logbooks on in their room, sitting at one place. Even those things have been done away now, because there are NFC cards, and the system automatically measures the latitude, longitude of your mobile, and unless you are into the vicinity of the QR code, you would not be able to open the checklist. So this system is also becoming flawless. At the same time, if we try to fill up lot many logbooks at a single place, even those alerts would be generated that yes, these logbooks have not been filled up at the location of the equipment. So all those things are developing in the due course of time, be it finance management, cost sheet, which was a major hurdle. That has become quite easy now. The system will pick up data from the biometric, create a complete data sheet for individual employee as to for how many hours the employee has worked in each day and what should be the cost for that, and it will automatically generate a cost sheet, which used to take a long time when it was a manual work being done earlier. Going to the IoT based solution and what kind of coverage it brings to us, starting from water management, give a thought of it. When I'm talking about lot many solutions, give a detailed thought as to what kind of issues are you facing and what kind of solutions which we spoke about into this webinar. So municipal water, there is always a question as to how much of water is received, how much is consumed, are we getting a required amount of water or not. So all those things can be brought line in today's scenario, wherein we have the data available online for us. It not only gives us the input water, but also through various meters the consumption of the water, and it will also calculate required amount of wastages that has gone, and we are not able to measure that, and those wastages would also be reported on a day-to-day basis. Those kind of systems are available. Water tankers, one of the important part where is always a chances of pilferage. Those water, how much of water has come, it is measured, number of waters is measured, and all these things are done using the IoT based solutions. The bore wells, that can be optimized, their timing, scheduling, their running hours, the water that is pumped out, the starting of bore wells as per the requirement, everything comes online. Same goes with the tanks and the pumps. We can have the pressures measure, we can have the levels measure, we can have the pump starting automatically and filling up the tank, then switching it off. Not only so, though this looks like a basic solution, the system can be optimized in such a way that if you want to set an alert that yes, my pump has started but the pressure has not developed in say 30 seconds of time, the pressure has not developed to 2 kg, I need to get an alert about this, so that my pump should not run dry and it should not conk up. So that is where the system will further help us out in ensuring that the pump do not run dry, and there is a safety of the pump also. Yeah. Now going ahead on the fire system, just think when we talk about the health of our fire system, that our fire system is in healthy condition. How do we measure that the fire system is in healthy condition? I think some basic parameters. One is the switch status, that yes, all my pump switches are in, fire pump switches are in auto mode, which are supposed to be as per the norm. Second, the diesel driven pump, the batteries are in healthy condition. There is an adequate amount of diesel into the diesel tank. Then you have the motors being monitored for when they run. For example, if you have a jockey pump and it is frequently running, then it's a indication to tell you that yes, there is a leakage. So once there is a leakage into the fire system, it will automatically end up into running of this pump frequently. And what are the losses? The losses are energy, the losses are water, and also due to frequent running there are chances of mechanical failure into the pump. So all those things are taken care by the system. We would like to monitor the pressure, we would like to monitor the running hours, we would like to have any kind of analytics, we would like to have reporting done, what is the pattern of the running of this pump for last 1 month, for last 1 year. We would also like to know what is the level at any point in time in my fire tank, because as per the norm, fire tank has to be 100% filled up. So if we are able to monitor all those things together with a single click of a button, and everything is available on our laptop, then we can say yes, my system is in healthy condition, and I know that the way the system has been designed, it is even in the static condition, it is operating in the same manner. And then so physically or practically we do not need to go to the fire pump to monitor the fire system. Now this I am giving one example. Just think about those sites which are not single sites but which are the portfolios. Those portfolios, ahead of a pan India fire system wants to monitor the fire systems of probably 50 or 60 sites across India. How is he going to do that? It is impractical for him to visit 50 sites, and this is where the technology solution will help in monitoring these healthiness of the fire system from any corner of the world. He need not to be limited to any specific region or a location. Is how this system is going to help us out. Then another repetitive and time consuming job, I would say, one is noting down the parameters into the energy meters. Just imagine sites where you have more than 100 energy meters and the electrician has to take up multiple readings from each energy meters. It is absolutely wastage of time. And once he makes those reading manually in the logbook, what are we going to do about that? Again, put that into the Excel sheet if we want to do it for a kind of trending, or if we want to analyze it. How practical it is to make those readings again back into the Excel sheet and further analyze it, and you do it every shift. I mean, I personally feel this is not probably a right way of doing it when things are really very much repetitive and not adding much value to us. So this is where the technology will pick up all the data. It will give analysis when you set some kind of alerts and alarm. It will also tell that your voltage has gone exceeded above certain limits, the current is going to exceed your maximum demand. So all those things and analytics can be given by the system. So we should really not be dependent on the manual intervention now. Those human efforts and the skills needs to be utilized in a right manner. Next point, I would talk about the lightning automation. Now the timer based, again those days are gone wherein people used to put timers and manage the timer based lighting. Now we want to schedule it in a remote mode as well as automatic mode. Probably we would want the lighting at certain locations to work on Sundays for this time, Mondays for this time, Thursdays for this time, another location Monday so and so hour to so and so, Tuesday another hour, Wednesday another 3 hours. And this is where the timer will not help us, because the timer you can't keep changing in time and again, whereas when you go for an IoT based automation, you can definitely program it as per the requirement and it can work as per the scheduling automatically. LT breakers and busbar monitoring. There are certain LT breakers which we would like to have an alert, or we would like to know whenever this breaker trips, because those are the critical breakers for us and we cannot afford, because it is going to impact our business in a big way. And not only the impact, it's also going to bring a bad name, and finally it comes about the operations and maintenance of the equipment. So we would want to know definitely if any of the breaker is tripping, which is a critical breaker for us, and that is where the system will tell us, so that we can initiate an immediate action towards rectification. HVAC, we can definitely, I think a huge amount of energy is gone in HVAC. So a small initiative will bring down our energy bills in a big way, and there are multiple ways we can bring the automation to the HVAC system. Not limited only to the AHUs, the VAVs, and the actuator part, but also on the higher side, wherein various kind of analytics can be generated basis the parameters, and those parameter basis we can control the HVAC operations, so that eventually we start getting saving. Trust me, with the automation of HVAC, the savings goes, energy bills goes in the range of 15 to 20% of cost saving, definitely, if you go for HVAC automation. Do look at it, it definitely works. Not only AHUs, the automation is done, IoT based automation for VRVs, it is done for splits units, it is done for cooling towers. The system can be designed in such a way, for example, when you automate your HVAC chillers and you automate the cooling tower, and if we are supposed to run only one cooling tower for each chiller, and if there is one chiller running and there are two cooling towers, the system will still generate an alert to yes, the number of cooling towers are more than the required for the specific number of chillers, and that is where we can take required actions accordingly. Going further on the air quality monitoring, all the air quality parameters like humidity, temperature, then the carbon dioxide level, carbon monoxide level, volatile organic compound like oxides of nitrates and sulfides, which are very much harmful to a human body. All those can be monitored with the help of IoT based solutions, and those alerts, alarms would be generated if any of the parameters, and not only alert, all those solutions can actually automate in such a way that the pressure fan is started automatically, the oxygen level is enhanced, and when you have the adequate amount of oxygen level, it switches off the fan. So all the air quality can also be controlled, monitored, and taken care with the help of the IoT based solutions. Then we talk little bit about soft integration. So what is a soft integration and what are the requirements of the soft integration? So soft integration is when we pick up data from any of the equipment, and we further analyze that data to create analytics and alerts. For example, if you want to pick up some data from the water treatment plant, we can pick up those data from the water treatment plant, put it into the IoT based solution, and then whenever any of the parameter is deviated, there could be an alerts alarm generated, and basis those alerts, if you want to have some kind of control mechanism, that control mechanism also works. But there are some specific requirements for this. First is at any point in time, if you want to pick up the data from the for soft integration from any of the equipment, first is it has to have a communication port. It can communicate through Modbus, it can communicate to RS485 port, but there has to be a communication port which will allow the data input to be taken from that equipment. And also then the OEM has to share a kind of protocol and the API instructions or definitions, because unless you have those APIs and the protocol, it would be difficult to pick up the data, because those are the set of instructions that the app need to know as to what I need to pick up from there. So once these are there, all this data can be brought online, and accordingly we can generate any kind of alert for those. So all these technologies are available in market. What I'm talking about, you can reach out to people, you can reach out to some technology partners, you can pick up those technologies, use it for the facilities, and further add those values to the clients, what they are looking out from us as the FM professionals. Now I'm going to talk about a very interesting concept that is called as the smart washroom, which is altogether a new experience in soft services. So if we know and which we have been following a conventional concept of cleaning and maintaining the washrooms, wherein we have a dedicated manpower who goes to the washroom on an hourly basis. He has certain checklist. He has to make some checks and then put the ticks on those boxes and say that yes, I have done my job for today. But is this going to be a sustainable, and do we really get that kind of desired output? And we do not know, deploying a person, how efficiently the employee is being utilized. Now there is an altogether a new solution called as a smart washroom solution. So what issues do we face in the washroom if we have to talk about? One is we have wet floor, that is one of the issue that we face. Another issue is washroom stinking. Third issue is the tissue towels or the soap in the hand wash is finished. So basically all those basic issues for which we need to deploy one person. What if we have a technology which will tell us what the situation and the condition the washroom is in, and do we really need to send a person to clean it? So why don't we send a person only on a required basis rather than sending he or she regularly on an hourly basis? So the smart washroom solution has a sensor. It's called as a wetness sensor. The wetness sensor will sense the wetness of the floor. There is a air quality sensor. The air quality sensor will sense the stink in the washroom, so that in case the washroom is stinking, we would get those kind of alerts that yes, the washroom is stinking and we need to clean it. Third is the soap dispenser sensor. If the soap level is reduced to certain extent, maybe if it is left like 20%, 10%, you get an alert in your mobile, yes, the soap has reduced, now you need to fill up the soap dispenser. Same goes with the tissue dispenser. You have the sensor out there as well, and the sensor tells that yes, you are left with only 10% of the tissues, you need to go and replace it. You also have a footfall counter. The footfall counter will tell us that at any point in time or within 1 hour of time how much of footfall has gone into the washroom, and how many people how many people have used this washroom. So what happens in that way, we can say that yes, if this is the particular time where there is a heavy footfall, I need to send for cleaning, or this specific 2 hours of time there is hardly 1 or 2 people are using it, do I really need to send a person or not? I really don't need to send that, right? Third point is the feedback module. Now this feedback module, it has all kind of displays and icons of say tissue roll, soap dispenser, or any other thing, faucets, or all those things which are working or not working. Okay, so in case if there is any defect, person just need to give a feedback onto the module, and the alert will go that yes, this particular thing is not there and we need to get it repaired. It also gives a customer feedback that yes, he is happy, it is clean, not clean, or something is really wrong. That kind of feedback can be given, and customer wants to type something, he has to give some description, that also is permitted here. One of the most important aspect here is that with the COVID situation, now people have gone with a touchless solution here as well. So if something is not there, we do not really need to press the iPad, just need to speak out that tissue rolls are not there, and the system will say yes, tissue rolls are not there. That indication and an alarm goes, and accordingly the action is taken by the team on ground. So this is a very interesting solution and picking up in a big way. I won't say only in India, globally it is picking up in a big way, because it also tells us if the number of people in the washroom have reached to the maximum level, it should give an indication that the washroom is engaged, no further entry is allowed, so that we can maintain a social distancing in the washroom as well. And such kind of solution is not limited only to the washroom. We can definitely extend it to all the meeting room, conference halls, even cafeterias, or everywhere else wherever we wash to. So all the solutions are quite flexible and available in the market. Now, command center approach. What is the command center approach and how does it differ from a conventional BMS system? So when we talk about a command center approach, what happens, BMS has certain limitations which the command center does not have. So BMS, it works at a physical location, while the command center will ensure that not only the BMS, anything and everything that comes under the IoT based solution can be monitored at any place across the globe. So you are not limited to certain parameters which are there in the BMS system. You would be in a position to monitor, control anything that you have applied this solution for. And trust me, there are organizations like McDonald's, I would say, who have implemented certain IoT based solutions, and in COVID situation their management is managing more than 350 outlets sitting at one place. That is the benefit and advantage of having the IoT based solutions. IoT based solutions does not really require a lot of cabling work, kilometers of cable which the BMS needs. IoT really doesn't need that. That eases out our job, and it does not spoil any existing infrastructure into the facility. So that helps in a big way, because any kind of retrofit that probably require a lot of cabling work, which here it does not really require. uh, Another part is that when you use such solutions, if tomorrow you want to use those hardware somewhere else, you can use it. You pick up the gateway, you pick up the sensor, use it at another facility. Best part is that a BMS probably monitors one facility at one place. The IoT based solution and the command center approach will integrate multiple facilities and multiple equipment into a single screen. So if you want to monitor 50 facilities, and if you say that no, out of these 50 facilities I would want to monitor only the fire system, I need access only for fire system, those kind of access, those kind of flexibility can be given with the help of IoT based solutions. So that is how it works, and that makes the life of each and every person easy. Basically it takes us away from the dependencies of human error and dependencies of other elements, which does not allow us to monitor on a real time basis. Okay. Now let's speak about what are the future trends in the facilities management, and how and where we are heading to. So, given the COVID scenario, the maximum emphasis has gone onto the health and safety now. Just imagine a solution which allows an employee to reach to his desk from the entrance gate of the building where the security stands, without touching anything or without anybody touching him. Those kind of solutions are available, and that is where the employees will get a confidence that yes, I am safe to enter my office. And our ultimate aim finally is that those employees, for the clients to whom we are providing these services, the employees of those clients should feel safe when they are coming to the workplace, and then only they would get encouraged and motivated to join their office, ensuring the health and safety of those people. And to come to a new normal, it is important for people finally to take a note of this point, that yes, as long as this facility management team is there, I feel myself very much safe and encouraged to go to the office. But that can only happen when they go out of the fear factor which is there in mind of people about the COVID, and they actually start feeling safe about it. So look at the solution. If you have to start from the beginning, starting from the place where the temperature is checked, or to the sanitization of the car and the employees hand sanitization is done, to the access control where the flap or a boom barrier allows him to enter the facility, to the elevator. So people would not like to touch the elevator button. So when I'm saying touchless, it is absolutely touchless. I only flash a card at every place without touching it, and every system operates accordingly and it is configured accordingly. That is the kind of solution people and the clients are looking at today, and those solutions are available in the market. So suggestion is, have a look at it, and I'm sure you can definitely suggest such kind of solutions to our clients. and look forward for ensuring that those employees are benefited as well as they are motivated enough to join the facilities. Then second is, like I said, we are not looking at monitoring and measuring things on the ground level. Clients and everybody, and the future trend is looking at better visuals, better dashboards, timely and correctly reporting structure. That is going to be norm in future. Nobody is going to ask, please give me the report, show me the logbook, because people would like to monitor everything sitting on their laptop without having any human intervention, because uh, people do look that, yes, even if someone is bringing me a logbook, there is a touch point. And there are, trust me, when we go to a facility, there are thousands of touch points available, and we need to see how do we avoid those touch points in current scenario. Then minimum dependencies on the human in future, considering the current situation, and reduction into the manpower at various places which our clients have done. We are definitely looking at minimum dependencies on the humans, and how can we go touchless, how can the technology help us in managing our facility in a more professional and optimized manner. Everything is looked at now with a click of a button. People do not have time. The workload of everybody has increased in a big way in today's scenario, and this is where things have to happen very quickly. People are looking at things doing with effect from yesterday, not today. Okay, that is what the thought process has gone now. Then it comes to the shared services and shared resources. How can we share our services, even if we're giving an example of the IoT based platforms? So can one platform be utilized for multiple sites? Can multiple sites be managed from one platform only? Do I need to have different platforms for different facilities? Definitely no. We can monitor everything from one platform only, and multiple sites. And the platforms are so flexible that if you want to monitor a fire system, to start with, we start with fire system, you keep adding more and more systems into it, which probably the BMS does not allow. So this is where it becomes so flexible. If you want to change the way you want to get that alert, that can be done. So all those things are picking up in a big way in our FM industry. Then one concept of a smart facility is that how smart my facility is. Smart means absolutely smart. How it is, every element of the facility can fall under the umbrella of the IoT based solution, is what people are looking at now. Starting from your robots for cleaning, not only the facade, gardens, everywhere. Then greater customer experience. I think there is a small difference in, I would say, what is called as a customer satisfaction and a customer experience. When a customer gets something out of the expectations, we call it as a customer satisfaction. He is satisfied because he got what he actually expected from us. And when it comes to customer experience, when the customer gets something that is not expected, so that is where we need to reach, provide a greater level of customer experience. When an employee enters the facility after say 3 months or 4 months of this COVID situation, he gets a different experience altogether and start feeling safe. Then feel safe factor for employees, as I spoke about, very important. They need to have that feel safe factor in their mind, that yes, I'm absolutely safe whenever I'm entering this facility. Safety and wellness certifications are picking up in a big way for enhancing the facilities credibility and building more trust within the client and the external stakeholders. So that is picking up in a big way. People are looking at British Safety Council certification, Sword of Honor. People are looking at wellness certification. This is the next stage of like what we have, IGBC or LEED certification, which is quite focused towards the assets and the facilities and equipment and overall premises that it works about or talks about. Whereas wellness certification is purely focused on the well-being of the humans, well-being of the employees who are working. And there are different set of parameter basis which these are judged, and further certification is issued. Picking up in a big way, we definitely can look at it. So my suggestion to everybody, just give a thought to it, suggest it to your clients. Reduction into the carbon footprint, definitely with the environmental deterioration that is happening on a day-to-day basis. and increase into the IGBC rating. So earlier there were initial ratings, and now whoever has received the silver, he look at gold. Whoever has received gold, who is looking at the platinum, and that is how they are trying to enhance the overall facility upbringing. So, well, that is what I wanted to speak on this session. I would say in today's scenario, we don't go to our clients, even as a JLL, when I meet my client, I do not go and speak to him as to these are my solutions and this is what I can offer you. No. We talk about what problem do you have, what are the issues with you, and how can I help you out with the technology solutions. Okay, and that is where the talks have to go now. Please understand the problem of the client and provide a solution rather than giving him something which is already there, whether he needs it. So we need to know what the client need rather than what we have. So that is definitely one of the important point. And I would also say that I'm available on all the social media. I'm available on LinkedIn, I'm available on Facebook, everywhere else, and many of the industry people they are connected. So anybody needs more detailed discussion, more insights about this technology solution, how it can be implemented, how do we approach about it, what is feasible, what is not, do get in touch with me directly. I would be happy to support you, help you out, and provide you a required guidance, because this is a subject of my interest, and I would definitely like to be one of the associate in supporting you into this. So that is all from my end. I think the forum is open for a Q&A now. I'm probably taking this call from my mobile because there was some issue with my laptop. So I'm not sure how quickly I'll be able to type, but definitely will try to answer your questions if you write anything on the chat box. Yeah. So there are comments. I'll just quickly take you through certain comments. A lot of comments have come into this. So Giridhar says this smart washroom should not be that much expensive, so we can get it done with the ultrasonic sensors and BLDC motors with cost effective, and also use the water flow to generate energy. For good points coming up from the team here. Ashwini writes, night touch to the HSC, which has become a need of an hour in addition to operations and cost saving. Yeah, definitely, Ashwini. I mean, this is where we need to see that where we actually need to give an importance to the cost saving. Uh, uh, is it really worth saving that cost at the compromise of safety? Absolutely no. If we need to spend more money towards the safety, we must spend it, but at no point for the sake of cost cutting and cutting the corners. We should not be compromising on HSE and safety at all. No, because the repercussions of those compromise could be definitely catastrophic, and it is not affordable. It not only puts huge amount of damages in future, but it also brings a bad name to the organizations, clients, and the companies and the facility managers who are managing it. So definitely not. The point is absolutely right. HSE is a core of anything. Unless we have a safe working environment, because the life cannot be valued at all. So any other question or point? If no, then we would conclude this session. I must, before concluding, must say thanks to Nilesh Barot once again, for organizing this session. And good job done, Nilesh. You have been doing a fantastic job for the society as well as for the FM fraternity. And I'm sure the way you all are driving this, many people are supported not only with knowledge but also getting a job for those people who are actually struggling to get a job, and this platform is there helping them out in a big way. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend. I would say stay blessed, stay safe, stay home. Don't be scared. of corona, take required precautions, and that will definitely keep us safe. Thank you so much.